Hello, book lovers. I'm Kiki and welcome back to my little corner on the internet. I know it has once again been a little while, a few weeks, month, I don't know. And I'm sorry, I swear that I have some videos in the works. It's just finding the time and energy to actually sit down and edit has been difficult. Well, let's say it like that. I also have one video coming soon, hopefully. Um, Catching up to my reading goal because I am way behind. Or I was way behind and now I'm just behind. But yeah, so I have one video coming up where I'm trying to catch up to my reading goal because I think I was like 15 books behind schedule. You'll have to watch to find out. And I also have another reading my series with me and I think a DNF video in the works. However, those do take longer to film, generally speaking. But yes, that is the plan currently for upcoming videos. If you have any ideas on what I could film, please let me know because I'm also not finding ideas at the moment is kind of difficult. Anyway, what we're doing today is I am going to be showing you what I'll be reading in April. Now, March did definitely not work out the way that I wanted it to, in the way that I did not really read the books on my March TBR. I kept picking up different ones, not all of them, but definitely some of them. So I have decided to just go with a mood read for April. And I have chosen 10 books that I really want to try to read in April based on, well, my current mood and just the books that I've realized I keep gravitating towards. Like, I keep wanting to pick them up. So I thought, why not have a reset month in April and get all of the books out of the way that I'm currently, desperately trying to read, if that makes sense. But before I can even start with that, I need to actually finish the books that I have started in March and just haven't finished yet because for some reason I'm currently in one of those moods where I start a million different books but I don't actually finish them. So, to show what I have started One True Queen von Stern gekrönt by Jennifer Benkau, and this is the first in a duology, and I have tried this before, and it was not the vibe. I was falling into a reading slump, and I was just like, oh, either I really don't like this book, or it's a reading slump. It was definitely the reading slump, because I am having more fun with it this time around. I also got much further. Last time, I think I stopped somewhere around 12-15%, so I'm making progress. It's also another series that would be going off my TBR, which is amazing. I love that. So, first book. Then I've got one that was actually on my March TBR, Babel by R.F. Kuang. And again, technically I've started this years ago as well, and then I wasn't really in the mood for it. It is so interesting. I am so intrigued. I'm having a good time reading this, but it is so, I want to say heavy. Like, it's not a book where it's like a cute little romance and you can just breeze through it. No, there's actually cognitive processes involved in reading this. So it's taking me a little while, but I am excited to finish this. Then I have also picked up Lark and Kasim Start a Revolution, which is by Kaysen Callender, and it is the same author as Felix Ever After, and I really enjoyed Felix Ever After. So I'm really excited to see what I think of this once I am done. I'm about halfway through now already, so good progress. I just need to actually finish it. So really excited to finish this as well. And then I have started Air Awakens by Elise Kova, which is another book that I have, well, it's a series, honestly, that I have been wanting to read for a really long time. And I finally picked it up because I was like, I want something to read on my Kindle. So I picked this up. I keep hitting myself with the books on my Kindle, whatever I have in my hand. when I'm filming these videos. I don't know how that works, but I am really excited to read this, and I'm thinking, just as an additional sort of thing, I might put the entire series on my TBR for April, just as an addition for whenever I need something more kindly, if that makes sense. Anyway, I'm really excited. I really like Elise Koa's writing. I have read A Deal with the Elf King, I think is the first book in that sort of, in those interconnected standalones. And I've read the first 2 or 3 books in that series, and I really enjoyed them. So really excited to finally properly read this. I would say about 15% through, and already I'm enjoying it a lot. And I can see what's gonna be happening, and it's exciting. So I'm really happy that I finally started this. So technically I'm also rereading HP again, but it's for my fanfic, so I'm not including it. So I need to actually take notes for that. So I am tracking it because it's technically a book that I'll be reading, but I'm not really including it in this. I just thought for completion's sake, I should mention it. Anyway, now in terms of books that I have been gravitating towards and that I really want to read or like try to get off my shelves, I've got The Lace Reader by Brunonia Barry, and this is one of those books that I have randomly picked up in a shop in London at one point. And every time I open it, I'm like, oh man, it's signed. But it's one of those books that I sort of have the feeling that I will DNF. And so I just really want to get it off my TBR, if that makes sense. Maybe I will love it. I don't know. I think it might also be the first in a series, which I was not prepared for. But anyway, I will try this because it will take me absolutely nothing. It will cost me nothing to just try this book out. And then I will have a book off my like physical TBR, and that's what I'm trying to do here, right? So yeah, it's basically, I mean, the first thing of the blurb is like, can you read your future in a piece of lace? All of the Whitney women can, so it's like, it's all like witchy stuff, so it's fun. I like it. Well, I don't know if I like it. I will see if I like it. Anyway, and then sort of in the spirit of trying to continue finishing my series, I feel like I really want to try Children of Virtue and Vengeance by Tomi Adeyemi this month. It's the second in a trilogy. I read the first one like mid to end last year, I want to say. And I still haven't picked up the second one, and it's ridiculous. I need to know how it continues. The longer I put it off, the more likely it is I'm going to have to reread book 1. I don't have the time for that. So this is definitely, I just gotta get going on this. So a book that actually surprised me a little bit that I really want to continue with the series is Blade Breaker by Victoria Aveyard, because with Red Queen as well, it like took me a while. Like I can't have too much of a break between the books, because otherwise like the complexities and everything I will just be so confused by. But also like I needed a break after each book, because I don't even know. I don't know if it's her writing or if it's just the story itself, but I needed always time to really like digest it, if that makes sense. But I really want to read this. So I'm so excited. I've also just realized that I've chosen some rather big books. Well, that's on me. Anyway. Then I've got Ascendance of a Bookworm, Part 2, Volume 4. Now, we are getting a new season soon, which means that I really, really, really need to start reading these. Anyway, this has been on my TBR so many times at this point, I feel. So this month, though, I'm definitely reading it. And I'm really excited. I love mine. I love the story, and it's just like, I cannot wait for the next season of the anime. And then, keeping with the color scheme, I've also got Powerless by Elsie Silver. These are so much fun to read in between. They're quick, they're light, they're like a nice romance book to break up the other stuff that I have, which is amazing. I love it. I love it for me, honestly, and I can't wait to read this one. And then I only have, what, 2 left? Unfortunately, those 2 books are still at a friend's house. I really need to go visit her, both because I really want to see her, and second, because I really need to get my books. She still has, like, I don't want to lie, probably somewhere around 6 or 7 books. No, oh my god, it's like probably closer to 10 books that I had to leave at her house because I didn't have enough space in my luggage. Anyway, Powerless by Elsie Silver is definitely going to be read in April. I don't know, it also seems like a vibe. That makes sense. I don't know why. Then, a book that I am incredibly excited for is Queen of Shadows by Sarah J. Maas, and this is the first in the Throne of Glass series that I have not read yet. So it is completely new, uncharted territory for me, and I cannot wait. Yes, overall, I know what is going to be happening within the series because it has been out for so long and it's been so hyped on TikTok, which is the reason I'm reading it. But also just like the little details I of course don't know, so I cannot wait. And I hope we're gonna see more of Manon and everyone as well. And oh, I just saw the set. Anyway, I'm really excited. And after that, it's the tandem read. I'm so excited. Okay, the last book in English that I have is actually going to be more of a, I'm going to be starting this in April, and I want to get as far as possible, but it will probably take me a little bit more than just April, and maybe April and May to read, because it is the complete Sherlock Holmes. So I have some of these really pretty, no, I forgot what they're called. Are those the, yeah, they're the Barnes and Noble, like, special editions. And they're so gorgeous. The gold foil keeps, like, shining onto my face. But this is one of those things, like, I've been wanting to read Sherlock Holmes for a while. And it's so pretty. It is tiny, though, so that's gonna be... Yeah, it's massive and it's tiny writing, so that's why it's going to take me a little while to read it. But I am really excited for it. It also means that if I do it, I only have one Barnes & Noble special edition left of the ones that I've bought or gotten so far, which is good. Because I think I actually... So one of them is the Jane Austen 7 novels, but I have them all in as... Oh, they're up here, you can't see them. As like the Penguin editions as well, so I was like, that was stupid buying on my part, but I'm not gonna complain. They look so pretty on the shelves. Okay, but the last 3 books that I have are actually in German. I know, I couldn't believe it either when I was like, I'm choosing my books this month. And I somehow, honestly, I wanted it to be more. But I also know that I'm probably going to grab 1 or 2 just randomly off the shelf again as well. And I'm gonna choose those when that is the case. But the first one is the second in The Immortal Beloved by Kate Tiernan. In German it's called Ersehnt, and it is originally English, but I read the first book when I was like 14, I want to say. I don't remember. So that was when my English definitely wasn't Englishing yet. And so I decided to just stay with the German, and I reread the first book last year because I wanted to read the whole series, and then I didn't. So that's on me. But luckily I've read the first book so many times at this point that I remember enough to be able to continue with this book without having to reread book 1 again. But I'm really excited to finally read this, and then hopefully next month or so finally finish the trilogy. Then technically another book in translation, I have Rosen and Violen by Gry Kappel Jensen. I am so sorry, it's the Rosenholm trilogy, and it is originally in Danish, so you know, it has been now translated to English as well, so if you want to check it out. It's basically set at a boarding school, but it's not like your usual school. It seems to be like magical and mythological, which I really like. There's a bunch of secrets, and there was a murder that happened back when, and they might, and our four main characters, I think there are four or something, um, anyway, I don't know what will happen, but it sounds so good. It is gorgeous. Like I have all of them with the sprayed edges, and they look so good together. Also, just the books with the gold foiling, with the detail, it's like all three of them look so good. Also, the last one is like double this size. Anyway, I'm so excited. Also, I'm really happy if I finally read this, because technically my aunt bought this for me years and years and years ago, as a present when it came out, and that was in 2023. So 3 years ago. That is honestly on me. I'm so sorry, but I'm really excited to be able to tell her, oh, I read this. And then the last book is A Night of Promises and Blood by Anna Petzold, which is, I think, it's a first, and I think a trilogy. And I think it has to do with, I think we've got vampires. So it's set in New York. Our main character's father disappeared 14 years ago. Oh my god, wait, is this queer? Oh my god. It might be. Okay, I'm gonna have to. Oh, there are trigger warnings. Which don't bother me. So there are trigger warnings for skin picking, depression, and blood. Which is, if this really is about vampires, blood makes sense. What I also love is we've got a playlist. I always love it when authors do that. I don't know, it's so cool. I mean, okay, so the first song in the playlist is My Chemical Romance, Vampires Will Never Hurt You, so I'm guessing we do have vampires. And the first word is blood. Okay, I love it. I'm just really excited. And this was one of the first books where I very consciously decided to only buy the first book in the series and see whether I like it, and I will read it rather than buying the whole series, which I don't know if it's a duology or a trilogy, and then like not liking the first book and just sitting there with like a bunch of books on my hands that I'm never going to read. So really proud of myself for that, to be honest. But that is my TBR for April. I have to admit, I will most likely read, what's it called? The Hawthorne Legacy, is that the second book? I don't even know where it is, which is kind of problematic. But it's the second book in the Inheritance games, and I really enjoyed the Inheritance games. The second book is the one that I own physically, so I'm really excited to be able to read that. And it's one of those things that's going to be a really quick read. I also have 2 more volumes on my physical TBR of My Gently Raised Beast, and then technically the last one I might see if I can get online. But those are like all like smaller things that I'm not putting on my TBR per se. But there's a really high chance that I am going to read them. This is now making me really excited for April as a reading month. I can't wait. I'm going to start by finishing the books that I am currently having marked as currently reading, especially Babel and One True Queen. They're the most important ones to finish, honestly. Lark and Kasim, I can sort of just like sit down and read. I don't have that much time left, I think a little over an hour, so whenever I do feel like it, I will just pick that one back up and read the rest. And then I'm going to have to start with the others, and I am not sure which one to start with. We will just see what happens. I should really start with Sir Arthur Conan Doyle, but I feel like Blade Breaker is going to be a very high priority for me this month. Anyway, I'm so excited. I hope you enjoyed this video. Hopefully it gives you a little bit of a... Now I can only think of German ways of saying this. Dang it. Ah well, anyway. What I want to say is I promise I will have another different video up soon as I can. And I hope you enjoyed, and I will see you in the next one. Bye!